What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith. And Lord, what a glorious victory. It truly was. The Eagles defeat the Commanders 24-8. And my Lord, did they come with the business today. 9 sacks on Carson Wentz, 2.5 from BG. You got 1.5 from Fletch was in there, 1.5 from Reddick. Almost got those 2 we talked about. But we talked about this. Let's get some sacks, turnovers in this game. What a great game it was. We came out and we meant business, dude. We talked about the first divisional matchup, being able to go 3-0, first time since 2016. I'm very excited about this team. We all know this offseason trying to get people excited, but I think people are starting to see what I talked about with this defense. You know, once they get on the same page and it's less think and react and it's just reacting, I think this is going to be one of the most dominant defenses in the league. So they came out today. They showed that. People can come out with whatever excuses. Well, they're just Washington, Carson Wentz, or don't care. This defense means business. This offense means business. I know they struggled in the first half. Every game in the second half, they've kind of, I feel, let the pedal off the metal there. But I understand you want to run the ball, do certain things, but they're not necessarily doing that. So I would like to see things improved, but we've talked about, some bumpy roads at the beginning of the season. I'm okay with it. And if you're 3-0, that's perfectly fine. So, what a game for Devontae Smith. Oh, let's go. 169 yards. My God. I mean, A.J. Brown even had 75 yards. Those two, insane. Jalen Hurts is showing. He had, 23 for 35, I think he was. 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's pretty damn good. 8 different receivers. Again, he did that last week. 8 different receivers he threw to, 7 in week 1. So he's spreading the ball around. We've talked about the fact that, people can sleep all they want on this team, but he has been developing. He's working on the things that he needs to. And I think the world is in for a really, dude, he's going to win MVP. And they're going to be like, oh, I knew he had talent. I just kind of talk shit for, an entire year about him. So good for them, but we got to see today that this team is indeed for real this year. So we talk about staying healthy, continuing to grow each week, and then growing into a Super Bowl contender. And I think this team has shown week in and week out that they will continue to grow, and there are growing pains that are had. And look, that's okay. It's week 3. And I think, you continue to build on those things. We talk about, next week, Doug Peterson coming home. I really think, it's going to be huge. And then you have Arizona who's struggling. DeAndre Hopkins is out. Rondale Moore still banged up. I'm excited for that game. And then Dallas. So I think you could go 6-0. We could do all these things. We talked about, when I said this team could be a 15-win season, people, look, good for them. I don't care. We have stuck to our guns around here, and I appreciate you guys sticking with me because it's like, look, we have seen the light. And, with all these pieces added, we knew there could be some growing pains, which week 1, there were some things, but it's like, dude, this offense is dominating and this defense is doing exactly what we talked about all offseason. So couldn't have asked for anything better. Very, very excited about this team. Yo, my man, Tyree, what a game. It truly was. These walls they didn't stand a chance, man. I really think that, Jalen Hurts having that dual threat capability, people talk about it as if it's a negative. And we've talked about, how positive it is once he develops that arm and once he starts doing things. And people, he had a weak arm. I don't, what? No, he never did. But what he had to work on was his reads, how he's holding the ball, his, pocket awareness, all these things that we've talked about for over a year. But he worked on those things. So I don't know what young quarterback, there's obviously first round picks who come in ready, but it's like this team is coming out, man, and really showing that they worked on a lot of things. And I really love what Jalen Hurts has been able to do. We've talked about that all season. Look what he has been able to do. So I know people are going to try to pick this game apart, but this team means a business. So, man, I'm excited about it. And no touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That's, kind of what I was, alluding to there. This team, each game has struggled in the second half. So I understand that and I get it. And I would love to see that cleaned up. So that is something I'm 100% with, but that's okay. It is the beginning of the season, week 3. We're going into week 4 next week, obviously, and it's going to be quarter way through the season. That's when you're like, okay, after this game, we need to really clean things up. And you're still going to have mistakes, and there will be injuries, and there will be things that throw you a curveball, whatever it is. You have to keep growing, keep learning, and I think this team is doing just that. So I'm really excited about it, and Hey, man, I think the world is finally jumping aboard the Birds train. So let's go. My man Ted in the building. Main concern was reading blitzes and red zone thrown. Check off. Yo, man, I was trying to explain to you, this is something you're going to see, Ted. And I'm not trying to be a jerk by saying that. But look, this is something I had to try to explain all offseason. People are like, he can't develop. And I know that's not you. What I'm saying is, it's like these are things that are going to come in time. He'll get better at picking up the blitz. He'll get better. And he did that last week and this week, standing in there, taking hits. And I continue to see the growth that we have asked for, and I can't ask for anything else. 340 yards today. That's pretty damn good. And, we've talked about run the damn ball. Yeah, I love this being a team that can run the ball, and you don't want to get away from that. And I think they'll learn that, with different teams. But I think with some of these teams that we've talked about, kind of tune-up games, you should be able to beat them. This is games where you need to be able to see Hurts open things up, throw the ball, and he's done just that. So I think everybody's going to have to do some backtracking. You're going to have everybody, oh, he's the best ever. And it's like they go from one extreme to the other, and it is quite hilarious. So we try to warn them, ladies and gentlemen, but welcome aboard. Choo-choo. Dude, I cannot wait. I really can't. Hurts didn't run much. No, he didn't really. And I want to say he only did it like 8 times, 23 yards. Don't quote me on that. It's something like that. But it was just times where he had to escape. And that's what we talked about, his pocket awareness, when to run, when not to leave that pocket too early. And these are things that are concerns with people and that were concerns with me and things he needed to work on. He knew that, and that's why he works on them. So people didn't want to give him a chance. Players can't develop. I've never seen a quarterback develop after 1 year as a starter. His 3rd year in the league, I don't know if he can do it. It's like, what? Like, quarterback's pretty hard. And when you're in college, and I thought he did some pretty awesome things at Oklahoma and Alabama, but when you're able to get away with being a dual threat quarterback and don't have to throw as much, it's okay. But here's the thing. He had to learn a new system every year. So you talk about this year, he didn't have to go out in the offseason and learn the playbook. He got to work on those things that he needed to. So I thought it finally was showing off here. So very excited about this team. Very, very excited about this. Say we'll have a top 5D look like it today. Yeah, and I said top 3, my man. So, Ted, I think people are starting to see. You saw all my videos that I broke down, try to explain what a multiple scheme defense looks like, because the media kept telling us, this is a horrible defense. Gannon's going to get fired. They're running even fronts every play. And it's like, I'm not sure if they were watching last year, but, I did it. I did as many graphics as I could. I try to explain the versatility of the players, why Reddick would have a big game today, figuring out their roles, and just CJ Gardner-Johnson moving to safety. Why? Okay, look, dude, it's the 3rd game in. People losing their minds. It's like patience will pay off, ladies and gentlemen. Also, probably a little bit of understanding of the game would go a long way with some of those people out there. But going out of their way to just trash talk a team that looks like it's about to do some special things. Yes, very great game indeed. What you chalk up 2 straight weeks of second half points to. Well, we don't score in the second half, man. 3 straight weeks. So I just really don't know, man. And I think that, again, I understand that you change up the game plan a little bit, but you're not really running the ball, like I said earlier in this video, the way that I like to see. So not too much of a concern. Week 3, you have to learn from these things, and I think they will. You grow from that. You understand you have to keep putting up points. You don't allow a team to stick around. So those are things you work on. Week 3, you're 3-0. Cannot ask for anything better. So very, very excited about this game, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I sure as hell did. So we talked about we needed to beat them at least some double digits here. I would like to see, at least by 14. I am perfectly fine with the way that game went. I know they got some garbage time points, but 16-point win. And my bets enjoy it too. So thank you, Philadelphia Eagles. But, dude, what an enjoyable start to a season has been. I know there are things to break down. We will break them down. Now, tomorrow, I will be back for victory Monday, and we will be on the road to victory. And then Tuesday, we will be back with Behind Enemy Lines, and we'll be talking about Doug Peterson and his Jaguars. So we'll be moving on. Hope the Eagles will enjoy this win today and tomorrow, and then they'll be moving on. So we'll go with them. And then Thursday, it'll be the top 10 matchups. I hope you guys have been enjoying these. We talked about how the interior defense, all these things that happened today, how we could go out and do those things, how sacks and turnovers needed to be a big part of the game. Eagles went out and did that. So I really appreciate you guys that do tune in, throughout the week. Love talking birds with you. I know there's a lot of stuff out there, and it's like, and I also appreciate my man, DJ Eastwood over there at Run It Back Philly, for having me on this week. It was a great time talking about how this team could go out and beat the hell out of this Washington team. So really excited. But I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all tune in tomorrow for Victory Monday. I'll bring some stuff with. I know that they get mad now when I bring highlights and stuff, so it's like trying to figure that out. But we'll talk tomorrow about this damn game, and then we'll get ready for those Jags. And enjoy your Sundays, ladies and gentlemen. I hope your bets went well, your fantasy football, all that stuff. But yes, Samuel, what a great game it was. 9 sacks, the most in Carson Wentz's career. My man, Phil in the building. Go Birds. You know it, dude. What a victory it was. You know, people try to sleep on this team, and I did my best to steer them in the right direction. So, and you guys had some good laughs when I was going after some of those media members, slandering this team this all season. And it's like, I'm not going to have it, man. You're going to have to learn football. You're going to learn what this defense is about to do. You're going to have to learn what this offense is going to do and what development is. Now they're put on notice. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have yourselves a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy this victory. Don't let them nitpick it too much. And we will pick it apart. We'll talk about the things we have to work on, as always. But don't let the negative Nancy's get to you. Enjoy this win. 3-0, baby. Leading the way. So I will see you all tomorrow. Unless something crazy happens tonight, we'll talk about that. But I will be back tomorrow. You all have yourselves a great night. And as always, go Birds!